Hello, my name is Mackenzie Stewart, and today I will be presenting a diversity training on South Korean culture. Our country's diversity expands day to day, so it's important to become as educated on as many cultures as possible because you can come in contact with people from various backgrounds and cultures. It's especially important when thinking about a business environment because it's essential to be educated so that you can maintain respect and professionalism with your business partners. Today in this presentation, I'll be covering essential information about Korean culture and also discuss the techniques and strategies they use for communicating in the workplace. So back before the 20th century, traditional Korea's high culture was mainly borrowed from China, including Chinese characters and the adoption of Neo-Confucianism as the philosophy of the ruling elite. The country was actually captured by Japan and held for 35 years, until 1953 when Japan had to surrender to the Allies after World War II. It created a division of Korea into two separate states, and Korea since then has developed into a republic of their own. They've been able to create their own vibrant cultural legacy from music to dance, art, and architecture that combines both tradition and modernity. According to the Korean Culture Center, as of December 2019, the people of Korea have developed a unique culture based on their artistic sensibility. After everything they have been through, they were able to create their own culture based on what they valued most. So, according to the Korea Ministry of Affairs, as of 2019, 2.5 million Korean Americans reside in the United States of America. And in the 2010 United States Census, it recorded there were 85,332 Korean Americans in Texas, ranking Texas as the fourth of the top 10 states with the largest Korean population. So what do they value in Korea? Well, as a collectivistic culture, they put family over the individual. So they value things such as obedience and protection of the family, sincerity and loyalty, personal ethics and morality, and all of this stems from the term Confucianism, which puts an emphasis on the importance of healthy human interaction and group harmony. They respect the importance of their family, friends, ancestors, and tradition, and recognize that everybody has a rank in their cultural everyday. So, what are the stereotypes of Korean culture? Well, to start with the positives, they are seen as hard workers, they are family oriented, which is due to the collectivistic culture, and they are industrious. South Korea has come a long way in their industries, and according to Nordea Trade, as of January 2021, South Korea ranked 10th among the world's largest economic powers. Now, we can take a look at some more negative ones, such as them being exclusive to only Koreans and not foreigners, which is not necessarily true. Sometimes they uphold tradition in certain situations, such as parents wanting their children to only be with other Korean people, but that's kind of just a thing of tradition, and it's not even always the case. Another is their value on specific physical looks, such as lighter skin or skinnier frames, which is something they can improve on to incorporate more diversity, but it is just a thing of tradition and something they're going to have to learn to grow from because that's the only thing their country knows. So some things that stem from Korea is the Korean pop culture through Korean pop music and Korean dramas. K-pop has become widely known global mostly due to the group BTS, who has broken global music records. And also their dramas and movies are becoming highly popular. The Korean movie Parasite recently won won the Oscar Best Picture at the recent Academy Awards in the United States. So what does a Korean workplace communication look like? Well, I noted that they are collectivistic and they are also high context, which means that they will try to avoid any confrontation or offense at any point. This leads us to the concept of 기분, which loosely translates to one's personal dignity or pride. Koreans will make sure to go out of their way to make sure somebody's 기분 is not damaged or destroyed. For example, a manager's 기분 can be damaged if the subordinates don't show respect to them, or a subordinate's 기분 can be damaged if the manager criticizes them in public. They will make sure to avoid interactions like this so that they can maintain harmony in the workplace. Since maintaining harmony and composure is so important, watching and recognizing body language and nonverbals is also essential. This leads us to another concept called 눈치, which is the ability to listen and gauge others' moods. Nunchi is accomplished by watching body language and nonverbals and listening to the tone of voice of what is said. This is crucial to successful business ventures as it allows them to avoid messy confrontations or creating any offense or tension within the workplace. So, Korean interpersonal relationships mainly operate on the principle of harmony. They don't want to be constantly arguing or having tension, and they would rather have a peaceful environment, which is why they often value friends first and clients second, so they can create personal relationships with the people that they're working with. In work culture, they have clear hierarchical structures, just like in everyday life, but they do value close knit teams and cohesive company environments so they can maintain a harmonious and peaceful work environment. So, there are some custom and traditions in Korea, which include bowing, which is a traditional way to greet one another. And gift giving is actually also important in the business industry because gifts are often given at the first business meeting in Korea. And also, more specifically, when giving business cards to another one, you want to present it with both hands as a sign of respect and that you're showing them the full card. Another thing to remember in Korean work culture is the use of honorifics. Since hierarchy and status are of high importance, it's important to know how to address someone. And it's often considered rude to address a Korean person you don't know well by their given name, so it's best to address them with a title. In business especially, they'll be delighted if you know their Korean name. So it's important to be knowledgeable of their title and department and address them with their title and family name if applicable. Their work title and position is a source of great pride, so it's important to recognize that when meeting with them, especially in a first meeting. So just to recap, we have gone over the essential information of Korean culture and the different techniques and strategies they use in workplace communication. As Korean culture does have its differences from American culture, it's important to remember these concepts we have gone over so that you can maintain a level of respect when meeting Korean people, whether it be in or out of the workplace. And in doing so, it will allow you to create both successful business partnerships and friendships. Thank you.